Technician 775 here. We just had a really bad storm come through the area, knocked the power out. You can probably hear our emergency generator running in the background right there. It's a Generac propane generator. Does a pretty good job, extremely thirsty when it comes to the fuel. What I'm going to do would be perfect time to take and make up some red beans. You can see my little portable gas stove here, okay, the case that it came in. Alrighty, we're going to have this set up. We'll turn this around and I'll basically show you how to, I think you've seen in one of the other videos there how this works. Canister of fuel. I like this one the best because there's no fuel to, liquid fuel to have to deal with. Pretty much you line it up, make sure it's in place, and you give it a click or two, and you have fire. Just that quick, just that simple. Okay, this is an extra can of gas right here. What I'm going to do, and we'll be in and out with the video, I've got a 1 pound package of Creamier brand red beans. This you can do the same thing with black eyed peas, lima beans, just any kind of dried bean or pea you can use. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go rinse the beans, go inside and rinse the beans, and measure out the amount of water, the seasoning, and the such as that. Everything that we need to take and do this. So the videos will be in and out for the time being. Okay, I've rinsed and sorted the beans, and I've put 6 cups of water in there, and the directions, if you read them like me, okay, we'll set these on there and cover. This says 8 to 10 cups of water, and I put 6 in there to start off with. I'm used to cooking, the bigger, larger amounts of beans. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring this up to a boil, and I have this pretty much cranked just about, not all the way up, but where the flame tips are just, whoops, okay, all right, but the flame tips are pretty good, pretty good amount, maybe about in this little stove in the purple, about halfway, thereabouts. Okay, once the beans come up to a boil, and we're not going to sit here and watch them boil, but once the beans come up to a boil them for about 5 minutes, then shut the fuel off. Let them sit for 1 hour. With that, it'll reconstitute the beans, and it'll take and cut your cooking time way down. So I'll cut the video off, and after these things come up to a boil, we'll take a quick look, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're back. Geez, it didn't take 5 minutes for this thing to come to a boil, the beans to come to a boil. I did add another 2 cups of water, so that makes 8 cups of water. The directions tell you 8 to 10, so that'll be all right. What I'm going to do at this time, I don't cook with any fresh vegetables, because this is going to be a need to cook with what you have available, as in. And I'm going to turn the fire down on this thing, just kind of let it simmer for right now until we finish putting the seasonings in there. I use all dried seasonings. I've always cooked with those. Sometimes fresh if you can, if I have the time. But most of the time I learn how to cook with the dried ingredients. And at this time, I never measure anything, so you're going to have to take into account. I've sat down and tried to measure everything to kind of give you guys and girls an idea of how much stuff to put in there so it didn't come out too far out in the left field. So beans are boiling really good. Okay, we want to let them boil for about 5 minutes. I'm going to set my timer over here for 5 minutes. Okay, I've got about 1/8 of a cup of Mrs. Dash. That's pretty good stuff. I've got about 1/8 of a cup of Tony Chachere's seasoning, and you can use just about any type of seasoning in there. 1/8 of a cup of granulated garlic, like garlic, and about 1/2 a cup of minced onions. I'll put the onions in there as well. And we're going to do about and I kind of like to put these towards the end, but I'm going to do about not this whole 1/4 of a cup, but maybe about half of it. About 1/8 of a cup of parsley. You put your dry ingredients right now, that way whenever you turn the beans off, they will take and absorb as well. You like a little heat, put a big miner's not a miners, what do they used to call those guys? The bartenders. In the olden days, they used to take and when the miners came in for a drink, they would a pinch of gold for a drink. So with that done, and of course I forgot my spoon. So, well, I've got one here handy. It's kind of a ladle, not exactly a spoon. So but I'll use this in the meantime, and get my trusty dirty towel here. No, towel's actually clean. Okay, and we'll kind of just stir this up a little bit to where all the dried vegetables and dried seasonings and stuff get really mixed up in there. And you can add what you want to. What we're going to do later on, I'm going to take and I put away some DAK brand chopped ham. I picked up, I think there were 2 for $5 with about a 4 or 5 year shelf life on them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a can of that and open it up and add that chopped ham to this, and actually have a pretty decent meal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this on a low simmer and let it simmer for the rest of the, I think we got about 3 minutes left here, and I'll put it, make sure it's boiling real good like this, maybe kick the fire up just a little bit and get a good boil going, and we'll shut this off and let it sit for an hour. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, almost forgot, key ingredient. Okay, key ingredient, yeah, I like my food a little on the spicy side, and if people that can't eat spicy food or don't particularly care, you can leave that out. That's no big deal. You can leave the Tony Chachere's out. I just put you a little bit of salt and black pepper to taste on however much you like there. But we're going to let this go ahead and go for a few more minutes and then turn the fire off and wait for an hour. Okay, Technician 775 here. I've been working with this microphone. It seems like we're getting a little bit of feedback. Okay, the beans have rested for an hour. We're going to take and engage the tank, the little bottle like I showed you there, and always turn it off just in case. It's just basically just out of habit. Engage it and turn the fire back on up to a real low simmer. It won't take much. One of these bottles will actually, you'll be surprised how long these bottles will last. Alrighty, looks like that's about the right amount of water. Beans look pretty good. Of course they'll need to cook a little longer. We'll take 1 or 2 of them out and see how crunchy they are. They softened up quite a bit. Probably another hour on a slow simmer. Let me check the. Spices are good. Probably could use just a little extra salt. So what I'll do, probably won't add any right now. I went down to the store instead of unboxing some of the stuff. I've got just some regular cooked ham in a can. Normally this stuff lasts for quite a few years. I don't see an expiration date on this one. It's here somewhere. It's just to find it. But anyways, I'm going to open this up, and this ham is actually good for just about anything. And this is not the DAK brand. This is Bristol brand, and they're all about the same. I'll probably have my cats and my dog attacking me for it, so. And I'll just take and just cut this up into pieces about whatever size that you think you'd like to eat in your beans, and I'll add that to it. That was one other thing. Oh well, some of the jars are getting old. Just can't remember stuff anymore. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna add this, and it's raining outside pretty good, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear that well over all this noise. So what I'm gonna do for right now is just shut the video down for a bit. Okay, we're right at the 30-minute mark on these beans after we brought the water to a boil. The beans to the boil, let them boil for about 5 minutes or cook for 5 minutes, and we shut the fire off and let it sit for an hour. Put some, I think we'll put a little bit more seasoning in there. Anyways, it's been 30 minutes on a real low simmer. They're for the most part just about done. We'll give them about another 15 minutes. At this time, about maybe 15 to 20 minutes before they're ready, we will take, and I did cube this meat up here. And that's what, about 3/4 of an inch cubes or thereabouts, something like that. And we'll put that in. Okay, some of this you can hold back if you want. You can put all of it in, or just half of it, or however you want to do it. and maybe if you want to cook something else with it. But we'll put this meat in there, and normally I'd put like a I do this by the large pot, so I'm not really used to cooking this small of an amount. But we'll put some bacon ends and pieces in there a lot of times, and I'll kick the fire up just a little bit till I get it to boiling again. And this fire was turned down where it just barely came above the ring. And one of the things I said on one of my other videos there, use a cheap, thin, non-stick pot, especially if you have you're limited on water resources. If you're not, you can use, I like cooking with the black cast iron pots. They seem to cook a whole lot better. But for the most part right now, if this is an emergency situation, you could have a meal cooked up, and actually a pretty hearty meal, for 4 people right there easily. And you have to adjust the recipe accordingly for either for yourself, 2 people, 4, 6, 8, whatever, however many it is. You guys are cooks, y'all know how to do this. But I just wanted to show you that it can be done with all dry ingredients, except for just a little bit of water. For the naturally you have to have a little water to cook with. And we'll take and cook this down just a little bit more. It's boiling already, so I'll reduce the fire and let it simmer some more for about another 15 to 30 minutes. And like I said, this fire is barely just above the round fire plate. It didn't take a whole lot, and these little gas cartridges will last amazingly long. If you have 2 cases of them, that will last you cooking 3 meals a day, even baking bread. You figure 1 gas cartridge a day, and there'll be more than enough to take and feed a family of 4. So, but it's always good to have extra just in case, and you can go from there. But anyways, Technician 775, we'll be back in probably 30 minutes or so. If I can get the video off. Okay, Technician 775 there. The timer went off, and we're right about close to maybe another 30 minutes. Like the meats actually didn't fall apart, which I didn't want it to, and I just kind of off camera there tasted just a little bit of it, and it's actually pretty good. Not bad for But anyways. If you like your red beans on the watery, soupy side, pretty much just leave them as they are. If you like them creamier, what you do is take you a spoonful like this, and I don't have another spoon. Anyway, you'll take and mash those beans up, put them back in here, stir them around a bit, okay? Grab you another spoonful, mash those, make like a paste or with it, and stir them around a little bit. If it's still not thick enough, well, you do it until you get the consistency that you like. I have to thank Miss Muffet for teaching me this. That's been a long time ago. I was struggling with red beans back when I was a kid, and she said, "No, let me show you how to do that." And that's the trick that she showed me. So I try to pass along, the little tricks like that. Or you can just keep stirring it, and they'll break apart on their own. I did add towards the end here some more parsley flakes, probably about another eighth of a cup thereabouts, and a little bit more than an eighth of a cup, and a good pinch of salt in the old salt dispenser there, a good sized pinch, and brought the flavor out. You'll find that whenever you seasoning red beans, when you first season them and you taste them, it's like, oh man, that's over seasoned. After they cook and they start absorbing all of that, you'll find that you'll actually have to go in and re-season them towards the end, what we call the last dump. Doesn't sound pretty, but it's the last seasoning towards the end there. Sometimes just a little bit of salt, sometimes a little extra all-purpose seasoning, some Tony Chachere, Zatarain's. Zatarain's is actually pretty good. Just about anything you can use, the salt and pepper if you don't like the spices and stuff. And I did put just a little bit more Crystal hot sauce in there. So, but anyways, these are just about ready to eat. I'll go ahead and simmer them for just a little bit longer. The beans are actually cooked all the way through. I did check them, and they're actually cooked all the way through. So I'll simmer them for about another 10 or 15 minutes. But if it was an emergency situation, you're looking at maybe 2 to 2.5 hours from start to finish to a good hearty pot of beans. In another video, I'll actually show you how to take and cook rice, but instead of using the real thin pot, as one of the things that I like to do is use, for the boarding house reach, I like using the parboiled rice. And the reason is, on a parboiled rice, it's pretty much pre-cooked and dried out, and I'll take one of the big, oh, here's one of them right here, one of the big camp pots, just like this. Hey, Pumpkin. I'll take one of the big camp pots and actually cook the rice in there. You'll bring the rice to a boil, or I'll show you in another video, and you let actually the heat of the pot finish cooking the rice. That way you can save on your fuel, and it doesn't overcook the rice. So with that said, this is Technician 775 saying thank you very much, and please subscribe.